Welcome to episode 3 of Updates with Ethne and Pastor Bryon. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Well, I'm happy to be here. We're looking forward to what we're doing at Ethne and the next steps. I'm pretty excited about the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
We've got some really challenging things in front of us, challenging in a positive way. But we'll start off just basically by talking about what's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
It's been about 2 weeks since we did a video.
Yes.
And, we had Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a wonderful one. How about
What
yourself?
did you do?
I went up to my future in-laws and had some nice turkey.
All right. Were you the turkey?
No.
That's a good thing. I went to my daughter's house in Kentucky. We spent the week there, and that's basically what's happening is the whole holidays, Thanksgiving thing's been happening for the last couple of weeks. But today had my first coaching session with my church plant coach, Dr. Lawrence Van Hook. And what's interesting is he is also doing a multicultural church in the Oakland area.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of upside down from what we're doing. He's an African-American pastor, and he's involving other ethnicities in his church.
Right.
I'm a not so African-American pastor.
No, you're not.
And so we're doing the same thing, but we're just doing it upside down each other, and we're both really excited about what's going on in each other's worlds. So it was really good to be spending some time with him. He gave me a lot to think about, gave me a lot of stuff to work on over the next couple of weeks.
So what was like the focus of the conversation?
So coaching is really, it's an interesting deal. The coach doesn't tell the client what to do.
Right.
He just asks questions. So what are you doing? What's going on? What are the realities of your situation?
Right.
What are the opportunities and the obstacles? And then what are you going to do next? So those are the what are your goals, your realities, your opportunities, and what are you going to do next? That's basically the process that we go through. And so we talked about that, and I've got a couple of homework assignments, self-assigned homework assignments to do before we meet over the next a month from now. So, and then the Ethne team will be involved in some of those homework assignments as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it really feels like over the last couple of weeks, not much has happened.
Right, kind of almost in a standstill area.
Yeah. So we had our first team meeting, core team meeting 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And then from that 2 week point to Tuesday, 2 days ago, not a lot happened. But at the same time, that doesn't mean nothing's happening.
Right.
But what it did for me was really show how hard it is to be in the in-between area where we're at right now.
Right.
Is that in-between area, and especially with when we first started talking about launching the church, we were talking about launching on Easter, which would have been a very quick ramp up and very exciting.
Full court press.
Yeah.
Kind of like a 1980s Lakers showtime.
Yeah.
On, full all the time.
Just on all the time, going for it, which that really meshes with my personality style.
Right.
But since, when I got some counsel and other church planners and other experts basically said, no, what you really want to do is push this off until fall of next year.
Okay.
And so I'm old enough now, and I'd like to think wise enough now to listen to people where I wouldn't have before in my life. And so it is a discipline, and it's very difficult. It's really counter to my personality to do this. But I'm taking the good counsel to do it, and it's hard. It's really hard. And I think it's not just for me. I think for the entire team, being in this in-between area and knowing that we're going to be here for quite some time. 6, 8, 10 months maybe we'll be in the in-between before we're actually doing what we think of as church.
Right.
And, the question is, what do we do while we're not doing?
So I guess that brings the question is, what does God have to say about this? What does His Word say? How does it speak to you?
Yeah, and a lot of this came from my reading this morning, actually. I've been struggling over this. But this morning, as I was reading, I was in the book of Matthew. I do 3 or 4 chapters in the Old Testament every day, and then a chapter or 2 in the New Testament. And this morning, I was in the book of Matthew, and Matthew 21. And Jesus is walking into Jerusalem with the apostles. It's Holy Week, basically. It's the week where He's about to be crucified. Okay. And He's walking into Jerusalem, and there's a fig tree. He wants to pick some figs, but there are no figs. And so He curses the tree. It's kind of an odd story, but He curses this tree, and instantly it withers. And the apostles are like, whoa, that's kind of wild. How did that happen?
Not something really on par with the rest of His personality.
Right. And what Jesus turns around and He says there, He doesn't talk about how the tree disappointed Him. He doesn't talk about how He'd like to have some figs. Right. What He talks about is a faith issue. He says, I want you to know this, that what I did wasn't impressive. What I did was I believed something would happen. And it happened. Okay. And then He says this really incredible thing, and it's a challenge to us. It's really a challenge to us, because if we put this into practice, then we put our own reputations at risk. And this is what He says. He says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer.
Okay.
If you believe, you'll receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So, I've met a lot of people that said, yeah, I'm praying for things.
Right.
But I haven't met a lot of people that say, I believe in what I'm praying for.
They're more hoping instead of believing.
Yeah, exactly. They're hoping. And I've done this too. Okay, I'll pray about it, but I'm really hoping God answers my prayer. And I was really challenged by this morning, that in the in-between time, the danger of the in-between time is that we let the in-between time become the normal time.
Right.
So, right now we're meeting weekly, Tuesday nights, for the core team.
Right.
The danger of that, it's totally necessary. We need that time for team building, to develop a vision, a shared vision, so that's not just me, it's us coming up with a vision for what our church is going to look like. We need that, but the danger is, as long as we're in the in-between time, the danger is that in-between time become normal for us, and that become what Ethne is.
Right.
And so we just need to continue to remind ourselves that we're believing in something bigger than us. We're believing that God is going to work through us. But it's not just the belief, because belief goes hand in hand with prayer.
Yes.
So we need to be praying with belief.
So what do we need to be praying for as a team?
So what do we need to be praying for as a team? Number one, we need to be praying that we actually meet people. We actually touch people. That today, Lord, I believe you're going to put someone in front of me that needs to hear about you.
Okay.
Today, Lord, I believe that you're going to use me to do what I'm not capable of doing. So as I was meeting with Dr. Van Hook, my coach today, he goes, tell me about Ethne. And I said, Lawrence, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm clueless. This is new territory for me. And, it's easy to say, I've been pastoring 10 years. I've been doing ministry for 20 years. I should know what I'm doing. But this is new territory for me. And that should not give us fear. That should give us excitement. Because I believe if we're doing things within our capability, we don't need God. But since we're in an area where we're going to do something, or we're already doing something outside of our ability to do it, now we need God. And so prayer is how we invite God into that gap between my ability and His reality.
Okay.
And so I believe God's called us to this. And so I'm going to pray as if it's up to Him, and I'm going to work as if it's up to me.
Okay.
So the praying as if it's up to Him is the faith part. The working as if it's up to me is the believe part. I believe it's going to happen, so I'm going to do what it takes to get there.
Right.
But I also see that it's going to take God.
You're going to need help.
I need help. We need His favor in this. We need Him to open doors that we can't open. But only He can.
Doors we may not even know we need open.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to us all, listening to the great prophet's journey. What they say? Don't stop believing.
That's right.
Hold on to that feeling. And so in the in-between time, this is where we've got to continue to be praying and continue to be believing, because we're going to run into some disappointments. We're going to have some expectations that aren't fulfilled or not met.
Right.
But if we continue to believe that the destination that God set before us, we're going to get there. We might not get there on the path that we thought of. We might not get there with the people that we thought of.
Right.
But we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And we're not going to stop believing. We're always going to believe that that's where we're going. And that belief comes hand in hand with prayer.
Okay.
So that's really what I want us to be thinking about in this in-between time is let's just continue to believe God's called us to this, and we're going to keep moving toward it. No matter what, we're going to keep moving toward it and going to Him in prayer. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, again, what verse should we be looking at for this week?
So the verse was Matthew 21, verse 22, and it says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So it's actually a quite simple verse to memorize. Right. And I think we need to memorize this because I believe that it's important to be in the Word, but it's more important to get the Word in you. So when we memorize it, the Word becomes a part of who we are. So just say this with me. If you believe, you will receive.
You will receive.
Whatever you ask for.
Whatever you ask for.
In prayer.
In prayer.
So one more time. If you believe.
If you believe,
you will receive.
You will receive.
Whatever you ask for.
Whatever you ask for.
In prayer.
In prayer.
And that's Matthew 21:22.
Well, so, thank you for joining us this week. And then stay tuned for some announcements.
So here are a couple things that are coming up in the next few weeks for Ethne. Next Saturday, December 10th, and the following Saturday, December 17th, is our Church Plant Essentials Seminar from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each of those Saturdays. It's $40 registration. Lunch is included, but we're going to be learning the 12 essential points of planting a church during those 2 Saturdays. So I encourage you to be a part of that. You can register online, ethnesd.org. That's ETHNESD.org. There's a registration link right there on the home page. So click on that and register for that. It's really going to be a great learning opportunity for us as a core team. The second thing is December 18th is going to be our first outreach into the community of Lemon Grove. We're going to be doing some sort of Christmas celebration. Details will follow. We got people working on the details. Be at our team meeting this Tuesday, December 6th. We're going to work out some of those details then. But at the same time, My coach, Lawrence Van Hook, Dr. Lawrence Van Hook, is going to be there on that Tuesday for our team meeting. He's going to be checking out all of Lemon Grove with me all day long, pick him up at the airport, and then he'll be with us at our team meeting. So be there for that. We want to make sure that we've got as many people in our core group there to listen to learn from Lawrence Van Hook, and just take that next step together. So those are the three things. Number one is the Church Planners Essentials. Number two is the December 18th Christmas Outreach. And number three is the team meeting on December 6th. That's less than a week away. So make sure you're there for that. All right. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next time.